Now, I'm curious, are you a part of the geeky culture at all? Do you enjoy any of the video games that you are voicing it?
Um, my answer to anything related to my work or just even TV or any of the stuff I do, especially television. If you film is only going to take 2 hours out of your life to watch, but you make TV, you don't have time to watch it. If you're really making TV, you really don't have time to watch it. And for me, with 2 young kids and a sort of almost widowed husband, to the work hours and my schedule, I'm not gonna prioritize that sort of recreation. I'm too busy trying to get the more perfunctory and dull things of my life back in order before I can allow myself any fun. I just came back actually from my first holiday without the kids, with my husband, and I just read my first fiction book, I think, for, in maybe 5 years. So, as much as I'd love to sit down and play these games, it's very occasional for me. I had fun helping my husband through some of Uncharted 2, but I'm a bit. I'm not very coordinated as far as using the consoles are concerned. It sort of takes me a while to sort of, work them properly because I'm so out of practice. So, I'm not as geeked up as I'd like to be, that's for sure.
No, I understand. That's very common, so I'm not too concerned with that. But you did mention Morgan, and from what I know, Morgan actually got to argue with some of the characters you pick up in the party. That must have been fun.
Yeah, I mean, we actually snuck into a press presentation at the video game conference last year, but the actual thing the specific scene they were showing was one of the camp scenes where the player could choose to interact with Morrigan or one of the other female characters, and Morrigan was clearly painted by the instructor in the room to be the darker, more manipulative, witch-type character. And he said, so, do you want to go with the good girl or the bad girl? And everyone in the room was saying, the bad girl, the bad girl. And my friend and I were nudging each other and giggling because, I always end up playing these naughty girls. Morrigan, it was a big role to play, and it was a big responsibility and a lot of fun, and we had a lot of strands to record based on what players may choose to do along their journey playing Dragon Age. It was a really interesting process to go from one type of game to another, technically, to go sort of multiplayer and into Dragon Age. So I'll be interested to see what happens. I know that I hear that there might be a Dragon Age 3. I don't know if that's officially been announced, but I think they're going to move forward, hopefully. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see if Morrigan survives into Dragon Age 3 with me along with it.
Well, I certainly hope to see her in the next game, and I was going to ask about the dialogue, since there is so much of it, and there's so many different paths. Were you ever confused during the vocal sessions about what it is you were doing?
Well, we have, there were countless pages of dialogue. A lot of it was repetitious, but with a slight tone adjustment. So once you got into the rhythm of it, it was quite easy. But I like things that flow. I don't like lots of sort of bits and pieces. It's hard to sort of really throw yourself into it. But we always had a director in the booth with us, an engineer, and a lot of times we were online to people up at EA in Canada who would give notes as well on what they needed from the character and what they needed from me. And once they were happy and we'd established what we were doing, I would either still have the writer on with me or the director in the room if the stuff was easy. So we certainly weren't left out in the in the dark, floundering, wondering what to do with the characters.
Now, out of sheer curiosity, do you have any upcoming projects that you want our listeners to know about?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, obviously, Mass Effect 2 has just come out. I filmed a movie late 2009 called Rain from Stars. I don't think that's even up under my name on IMDb, but it's certainly up on IMDb, and most other actors have got their credit already. We don't know why there's been a big delay with mine. And a 4 titled Rango, which, I mean, the real title, I don't know if it's been published yet, but the Johnny animation film that was directed by Gore Verbinski from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, that's come 2011, and that's another animation film. Extraordinary from what I hear. It's going to be really cutting edge, technology that they're using. But that won't come out until sometime in 2011. But we did actually, it was kind of like mocap without the suits. We all performed together, and they casted it on a couple of film cameras, and they're using that as a reference to help them with facial expressions for the animators. And I'm producing at the moment as well, so I'm just desperately waiting to hear about a couple of things, and as soon as I have updates, I'll let everyone know. There's a wonderful website which has nothing to do with me. Personally, I haven't generated it. It's ClaudiaBlackOnline.com, and generally those guys will ask me if I've got anything, anything coming up. I don't have my own personal Farscape Facebook page that I use for publicity purposes. We have set up a Twitter account for One Production Inc. that we've been trying to develop. I've been developing it with some guys that I've been working with. But yeah, Claudia Black Online is a great way to find out if it's not from me somehow at conventions or what have you about what's coming up. And it's pilot season here at the moment, so this is our time to sort of be out pounding the pavement, trying to get jobs.
Well, now I am curious. I'm unaware if you attend any conventions, but do you have any planned for this year?
Well, for the first time, actually, I'll be attending a convention in Australia, in Sydney and Melbourne. The official dates for the convention are 5th, 6th, 7th of March. I believe the 5th and the 6th are in Sydney, and the 7th is in Melbourne. And Hub Productions are the company who are running the event. And it's DCA Enterprises and Hub Productions present Stargate. So David Blue from Stargate Universe, Ben Browder, and a couple of other people will be attending. And it's the first time I will have attended a convention on home soil. I'm excited.